panayam, balita at iba pa.
Kumusta po mga kabarangay? Direk Rene muli dito po sa Barangay New Zealand. Kung bago lang po kayo dito sa aking channel, napadaan o di kaya ay parang suddenly nakita nyo may Barangay New Zealand, paki-like, share, comment, and subscribe naman. Kahit isa lang okay na ako dyan. Dahil para hindi naman pampalubag loob para maging masaya ang inyong Direk Rene. Welcome po kayo dito sa Barangay New Zealand at sa araw nito, ako po hindi naman ako hindi ako mahiling sa hindi mahiling sa politika. Wala po akong bilang isang mamahayag, ako po ay tinitingnan ko ang lahat ng panig, no? Kung siguro nasa Pilipinas ako nung mga panahon na nanalo si Presidente Duterte, ako yung matutuwa dahil at talaga siguro iboboto ko pa siya dahil ako po'y taga Mindanao at pareho kaming taga Mindanao, ano? Isa ngayon medyo okay pa rin. Ayoko lang magkomento tungkol sa mga Duterte, tungkol sa mga ganito, tungkol kina Marcos, yung mga ganon. Dahil yun nga, tinitingnan ko yung bawat panig. Ngayon, ito pong aking itong Barangay New Zealand na edition na ito, ay nais ko lang pong bigyang daan yung ginawa ni Presidente Bong Bong Marcos, si PBBM na pumunta po siya sa Amerika. At ako'y nagpapasalamat dahil meron po tayong nakuhang video mula po sa VOA News, ang Voice of America News. Panoorin po natin ito.
U.S. President Joe Biden hosts Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida and Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. in a historic trilateral summit. Welcome to VOA Asia Weekly. I'm Chris Casquejo in Washington. That story is just ahead.
Panayam, balita at iba pa.
Biden hosted Kishida and Philippines President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. in a White House summit Thursday, sending a clear message to Beijing to stop behaving aggressively against its neighbors in the South China Sea. Leaders focused on dealing with Chinese so-called gray zone intimidation tactics that fall dangerously close to triggering a mutual defense treaty between Washington and Manila. VOA's Patsy Widakuswara has the story.
Ramped up aggression in the South China Sea, with Chinese Coast Guard vessels deploying water cannons and performing other dangerous maneuvers on Philippine boats. It was a focus of the trilateral summit Thursday between President Joe Biden and leaders of two U.S. allies in Asia, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida and Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.
Any attack on Philippine aircraft, vessels, or armed forces in the South China Sea would invoke our Mutual Defense Treaty.
China's so-called gray zone tactics of intimidation, including ramming into ships, fall dangerously close to triggering the Mutual Defense Treaty between Washington and Manila. Marcos did not publicly mention China, but couched his words in diplomatic terms often used to target Beijing.
Facing the complex challenges of our time requires concerted efforts on everyone's part, a dedication to a common purpose, and an unwavering commitment to the rules-based international order.
Kishida is concerned with similar Chinese tactics around disputed islands in the East China Sea, called Diaoyu in China and Senkaku in Japan.
In the midst of compound crisis faced by the global community, multi-layered cooperation between allies and like-minded countries is essential if we are to maintain and bolster a free and open international order based on the rule of law.
Last week, the Philippines, the U.S., Japan, and Australia held joint naval and air operations in the South China Sea to deter Beijing, prompting criticism by Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning.
China is resolutely opposed to the Cold War mentality and bloc politics, and to words and deeds that make and exacerbate contradictions and undermine other countries' strategic security and interests.
Biden, Marcos, and Kishida announced new maritime defense deterrence measures alongside infrastructure investments in the Philippines and collaboration on global humanitarian assistance efforts. Patsy Widakuswara, VOA News, Washington.
Visit voanews.com for the most up-to-date stories. I'm Chris Casquejo. Finally, to Laos and what's believed to be the largest ever rescue of endangered bear cubs worldwide. 16 Asiatic black bear or moon bear cubs were rescued from the home of a wildlife poacher in Laos last month. Now they're thriving on bottle feeding at a sanctuary for the species. Thanks for watching VOA Asia Weekly.